Good afternoon, Judge. This is my video affidavit relating to case number ANG 2202599SC, Robert T. Wagner, representing the Help Philippine Schools Foundation, also known as HPSF, versus the Luzon International Premier Airport Development Corporation, also known as LIPAD, in the 3rd Regional Trial Court, 3rd Judicial Region, Branch 117, Angeles City, Pampanga. First off, please accept my apologies for not being able to attend the hearing personally. It was necessary that I travel to the U.S. for critical medical treatments at the VA hospital in Lake City, Florida, which I had to postpone due to the pandemic. My colleague and local counsel, attorney J.J. Coloso, will play this video in my absence. Believe me, I would have much rather provided you this information in person on September 24th, but Typhoon Carding unfortunately had other ideas. Some background on me. The military males of my family have engaged in charitable work here in the Philippines since 1899, more than 123 years. My own postings as a Marine were in both Subic and Clark during the 70s. The charity was formalized as an SCC registered NGO some years ago to secure a lease as a Clark International Airport Corporation, which we call SEAC, locator on the airport for a flight base of operations. I personally pilot the small aircraft kept in the hangar along with American, Filipino, and European volunteers. We deliver classroom computers and projectors to remote elementary schools, as well as disaster relief goods when the need arises. I also perform flight services for our military and embassy units, such as the DEA, FBI, and DHS. Now, as far as the case is concerned, the primary overriding factual element is that the maximum lease rate escalation upon renewal, spelled out on page 2 in the original SEAC lease, was 10%, as is customary. LIPAD ignored this, however, and inexplicably demanded a 1,000% increase. It was a shock to everyone. An investigation as to why the now resigned president of LIPAD, Ms. Biyong Chunggungko, was doing this yielded a troubling story about an alleged Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force-owned company that had failed to take over Sangli Airport, shifting to Clark, and the eyes of local officials becoming wide when seeing suitcases of cash arriving from Beijing. So that's basically like a new mayor who had bought the election, announcing suddenly to his constituents that their annual property tax bill is no longer 1,000 pesos, it's now 10,000 pesos. And if you don't like it, we'll just take your property and kick you out. In my mind, this constitutes an unconscionable act. The second and equally important aspect of the matter is that the Philippine government has already spoken on the status of LIPAD's managerial authority within the Clark Airport through the issuance of the Office of the President Resolution 15K312, also listed as SOJ Case 01-2015, adjudicated on May 17th of this year and received by SEAC on June 28th. Taking nearly 6 years to complete, the resolution makes it clear that the general aviation areas are the purview of SEAC alone. Bottom line, LIPAD assumed de facto control with no de jure authorization. They have been operating under the good old adage, possession is 9/10 of the law. And until recently, until just now, they've never been challenged on it. All previous or extant legal proceedings brought by LIPAD against SEAC locators, therefore, had no standing during the matriculation of OP Case 15K312 SOJ Case 01-2015, and should not have been brought. Why the external legal counsel, both from Manila and Angeles, allowed this to continue, or allowed this to happen at all, is a mystery to me. They should have waited until a final adjudication, and then they could have begun legal actions against locators they didn't agree with. So, as such, our petition for writ of permanent injunction is not only supported by the resolution, the effective term of which went into effect August 28th of this year, but also general civil law covering such matters. So, Judge, if we are evicted The foundation will be forced to shut down completely, as our charter is based entirely on flying out donation equipment and disaster relief goods to avoid pilferage and theft. Beyond that, 16 Kapapangan jobs will be wiped out of existence. Nearly 50 families who rely on doing business with the foundation will lose their livelihoods, and the remaining 312 recipient schools on our list will be left out in the cold to the detriment of the country. We seek relief from the court in the form of prohibiting LIPAD, its associates, and independent contracted legal counsel entities from holding control of any sort over HPSF, with an order to cease and desist all attempts at doing so, both now and in the future. Further, we seek 323,128 pesos to recompense our own legal and court costs, as well as leave from the court to potentially seek damages against LIPAD for having tried to defraud us and steal foundation assets in the first place. We hope that our entreaties are met with your kind ear. It would make me very, very sad to have to stop what my family's been doing for more than a century, much more than a century. Thank you for watching my video, and God bless.